So my next guest has a incredibly long history to me. I feel like I've known her since she was a baby. But Kim Crawley, come on in here, Kim. I feel like I've known you since you were a baby.
Hi, Rick.
Hi, Smiley. I had to bring up her nickname right away.
I knew
Smiley's happy, by the way.
Can't
Oh
get
my
away.
That is beautiful. Thank you, Molly.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Just some little
All
treats that
right.
our chef put together for
We
today,
like
Rick.
treats.
Yeah,
All
absolutely.
about treats. I will bring that up there for
All
you.
right, yeah.
So I have to say, besides Kim having that embarrassing moment dancing with me on stage,
I didn't expect that kind of a show and tell.
I wasn't either, and Donna's always good for that. So Kim and I have the privilege of saying that we've worked together when we were both very young. So I met Kim when you were an intern at Peace Province College, right?
Mhm.
So Kim and I worked together
That's true.
on more things than I could probably count because I met her when I was in tourism at the Province Tourism Council. Kim joined us, and then you stayed with us as an employee
Mhm.
after your internship.
Yep.
And Kim and I worked together to found Eileen, which at the time had a different name. But we were, with Richard Carbati,
Mhm.
the first team in Rhode Island to form a local chapter, because it existed at that time, again, all over the world,
Right, but not Rhode Island.
but not in Rhode Island. We didn't have our own chapter, and we felt we had enough creative professionals here. So we've been a part of some very amazing things, and I have to say that I've seen Kim in several positions, and I have this like weird sense of pride because I feel like that I always felt like the older brother type
Aw.
of scenario. But,
Thank
is that
you,
I have-
Rick.
No, it's the truth, and I'm extremely proud of the things that you've accomplished and done. And she has worked on from Save the Bay to the Province Tourism Council to Waterman Grille. She's worked on some amazing things, and she is one of the sweetest people, and her nickname is Smiley. That's what I call her. I was joking around with her earlier. I kept writing Kim Crawley on my notes for everything, and
You
then
know
I
who
went.
he was talking about.
Yeah, and I went to my phone and I said, "Call Kim Crawley," and they're like, "Who's that?" I have her listed as Smiley in my
Smiley.
phone. So it's great to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting us.
Absolutely, and you brought some delicious things.
Yes, yes.
Let's talk about Waterman Grille, because you
Sure.
are part, again, just like Longwood, you're part of
Yes.
a larger group.
Yep, we are part of the Newport Restaurant Group.
And we've had some of them in already. We've had Hemingway's in before, and
Mhm.
we've had Trio from Narragansett. I think there's two of the ones we've had, and we hope to get more of you guys. But
Yeah.
Waterman Grille has some uniqueness to it because it's not just a regular dining,
Correct.
but it does a lot of events.
of private
So
functions.
let's talk about, before we get to this amazing food, because
Yeah.
this is already like the smells are driving me
I
crazy.
know.
Let's talk about the event space at Waterman Grille,
Sure,
because
absolutely.
I think you've got a lot of loyal customers, a lot of core
Mhm.
people that have come there, but I think there's a lot more people would need to know about this because of the convenience of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a lot to offer at Waterman. We have 5 different spaces that can be used for events. For groups as large as 150, if they're looking to do a cocktail reception, down to intimate dinners for 10 guests. We have 5 different spaces.
Five?
Five.
I'm
Mhm.
missing one. So.
There we go.
All right.
So we have 5 different spaces. We have the Riverview Room, which is our largest room, and that's right on the water. It will seat 100 for a served meal for an intimate wedding, corporate function. It can do 150 for cocktail reception type of a style. It's located right
I'm
on the
always
water.
waiting on her, by the way. This is just natural.
Absolutely, this is great. It's located right on the water. It is surrounded by floor-to-ceiling windows that are French doors that can open up to provide some fresh air into the space. So it's just really unique. It's right on the Seekonk River, so you just walk into the room and you have this unexpected, beautiful view of the river. So it really just, when our clients walk into the room, they're not always expecting just to be surrounded by this beautiful view of the water.
And that's a really good point to bring up. So Waterman Grille is on Providence's east side. So it's, you go through Gano Street area, you get right over to the water. People forget that there's this much water viewing in Providence, and you guys have a prime location. The building itself has a lot of history.
Yeah, so it has a lot of history. It is the former gatekeeper's house, so it's a very historic property dating back to sort of the late 1800s. Yeah.
Yep.
So formerly the gatekeeper's house, but it's just it's got a lot of history to it, and you can kind of see that as you kind of navigate through our different spaces.
So I've had the privilege of being to Waterman Grille for many events. A good friend of mine, Alex Tomaso, years ago, I threw his 50th birthday party
That's
there
right.
for him. I've been there for functions, charity events, private dinners that I've been there for groups. And that view for being in Providence is absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
really great.
you watch the Brown Row team coming by while you're in the middle of an event, right?
Absolutely,
It's
yeah.
crazy.
We do a lot with Brown, and it's really great. You'll see the men's and the women's crew team. All of a sudden, you're in the room, and you're with a client, or you're having your event there, and all of a sudden, the crew team just comes by.
You hear that person yelling, "Row, row!" as they're
Yeah,
going by.
swans have been spotted as well,
Right.
sort of frequently. So that's always an unexpected surprise for a nice event. You see some swans coming by.
So you talked about a couple of the rooms. I'm sorry, I interrupted you to that, but
That's
tell me
all
a
right.
couple of the other ones.
Yeah, so we have the river view. There's a private bar in the room, so that's our largest room.
Okay.
Next to the river view is a semi-private space, which is our lounge. So that can be utilized for, sort of a client that's looking to do either a smaller, intimate dinner, not really looking for a private room, but just kind of wants to be on their own a little bit. Semi-private, it will seat 20, or we can do 30 in that space for a cocktail party.
Okay.
We have our outdoor patio, which is really great.
Unbelievable, yeah.
Yeah, so that's a seasonal outdoor space, and it's right on the water, covered by an awning, so it's basically like you're under a tent, but you've got that outdoor feel. There's a private bar out there as well.
Right.
The patio is really unique in that we can use it for an event such as a birthday party, an anniversary, graduation, corporate events out there. We also use it for our weddings. It allows us to have an opportunity to be able to have the ceremony on site, right on the patio. So we set up the patio with the rows of chairs, sort of creating that ceremony atmosphere, and it's
Right.
really nice that the couples really like to be able to get married right on the water. The space transitions really nicely to then be their space for their cocktail hour. And then we bring them inside to the Riverview where they have the dinner and dancing portion of the evening. So it really flows really well and works really great in conjunction with Riverview.
And that's where all those the rooms that she's not mentioned, that's where you can kind of combine them all into one
Yeah,
function.
absolutely.
As you're flowing
Absolutely.
through to the entire
Yeah,
space.
of course.
So, besides the event space, and this is the same for my next guest coming in, is that there is regular dining. So, I mean, Waterman Grille, is it lunch, dinner? Tell me about the
Yeah,
restaurant
so
itself.
we are open nightly for dinner, and we are open for brunch on Saturdays and Sundays starting at 10 o'clock. So we do brunch on Saturdays and Sundays.
Saturday and Sunday?
Saturday and Sunday,
I didn't
yep.
know Saturday, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Okay.
So, and then we serve dinner nightly. So we have a really great open kitchen. We have a brand new wood-fired grill, which is really great for our guests when they walk into the restaurant. Right, it was designed that they
Right.
can kind of see the flames on the grill right when they walk in.
You also tend to get the nice aromas when you walk in
Yes,
from that
absolutely.
restaurant.
So our
Right.
guests really like that as well.
No, it is. It's a very cool space. And I've been going to Waterman Grille since they renovated and took it over. Cheers to you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Great
Thank
spot.
you, Rick.
Rosé, right? Tell me about the smiley, because there's got to be a story behind this.
Yeah, there is, of course. So this is our Steiniger Rosé. It's been very popular this summer. And actually, this was hand selected by our corporate beverage director. It's really good. He was in Austria and was sort of selecting rosés.
He went to Austria?
He was in Austria,
This is
yes.
the kind of job I need. See, this is what I'm missing out on. Go to Austria and pick out the one.
He was sort of, he must have tasted about 50 different rosés to be able to decide what our company was going to...
Again, 50.
to be able to decide what our company was going to serve, throughout the summer, and knew right away that this was the one, just for its balance and its freshness. And we offer this at Waterman for our events, as well as for regular dining in the restaurant, both by the bottle and by the glass. And it's very unique in that it was a very small quantity of this wine that was made, so the production of it was very small.
Okay.
And we must have purchased about half of the quantity available.
Really?
Yeah, and we've probably sold about a couple hundred cases since June.
Oh my God,
So
that's
our guests,
amazing.
whether it's or like I said, a guest in the dining room, they're really loving this rosé.
Nothing wrong with that. So he got to go to Austria to do this, and he got to try 50. I think I'm going to be contacting him, because if he needs help carrying bags,
He
or
may,
needs
you
things
never
to
know.
drive, extra person to taste after his taste buds go down, I could be there for him.
Yeah.
Now, menu-wise, because you
Sure.
brought some beautiful things here,
Yeah.
is that you guys have, again, the ability to customize.
Yep.
And you are, as what I was speaking about earlier, a self-contained venue. So
Mhm.
the food is on site,
Correct.
your tables and chairs and everything are on site
Mhm.
already. Really, the only thing outside of your menus is, again, you working with other professionals from like linens
Sure,
or
yeah,
entertainment, that kind
absolutely.
of stuff. But you again have, and Kim is a former president of the Untitled Chapter. Leah, not only did she found it, but she is a former president of it and has been involved in the International Association, attended conferences. So we're always still kind of educating ourselves at, from around the industry and around the country, truthfully. So you have that ability to tap into that network pretty well.
Correct.
For those extra services that people
Yeah.
are looking for. From the menu standpoint, Waterman has a very nice ability to customize as well, because your
Mhm.
chefs work over a variety of restaurants.
Right.
So talk about a little bit about what your menus is for today, or items from your menus
Yeah.
today, and then we'll talk
So these
about
are some of our hors d'oeuvres. So we actually have two kitchens on site. We have our restaurant kitchen upstairs, and then we have our catering kitchen that just essentially is producing the food for the private events, which is nice for our clients that, they're having their wedding with us and they sort of have their own dedicated kitchen. They're not,
Right.
sort of in conflict with what's going on upstairs in the dining room, which is great.
That's a good point. I forgot about
Yeah.
that.
So today we brought some of our hors d'oeuvres that we offer for our events. These are our crab cakes with spicy aioli, which are delicious. This is our tomato mozzarella skewer. These right here, it's a barbecue duck tostada with a pineapple
Duck?
salsa. Yeah. So that's been really popular. Just something a little new and different. The pineapple salsa is really unique and just kind of gives it a nice flavor.
Beautiful presentation too.
Oh, thank you. Our chef did a great job.
Good job, chef.
Our chef Noah and our sous chef Aaron, they work really hard in our kitchen. These are our scallops wrapped in bacon, and these are our pigs in a blanket with a honey mustard sauce.
So, just from this alone, from an appetizer sampling, you have an unbelievable variety here. I mean, pigs in a blanket to scallops to duck to the crazy to the crab cakes.
Yeah.
I remembered all that. See?
There you go. Great job. You passed the test.
I would eat everything on there. That's absolutely. So let's talk about. Take a sip of your line here, but I want to talk about a little bit of the variety because I saw her going for it. I know. So.
Just trying to be a little quiet about that.
So from a variety perspective and from the ability to customize.
Yeah.
Really what I want to try to key on is for people is the ease of coming to these venues and
Right.
being able to do these bookings. So let's talk a little bit about your process, which is
Sure.
probably similar to others in coming in. So if a guest is coming in and say, let's give an example, they're calling, they want to book an anniversary party.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, so we'll kind of go through with them, and like I said, because we have so many different spaces, we want to get a sense right away of what it is that the client is looking to do and what space is going to work best for them. So how many people are they anticipating? You know, are they looking to do a cocktail hour? What is it that they're hoping to get out of their experience with us? And we will then recommend the best space that works for them, and just kind of get a sense of, you know, what's important to them, what it is that they're looking for. We do have menu examples that we have put together, you know, just to serve as a starting point, but our chef is really
Kind of give
great.
people ideas.
Yeah, just to give them an idea. Sometimes they really don't know, you know, kind of, they may not know what it is they're looking for. So we have tools in place to be able to help them with that. We have example menus, but we always customize for our clients. We're more than happy to customize a menu and just get a menu together. This is their event, this is their experience, and we're just get a menu together that will work best for them based on what it is you're looking to do.
Right. But the ability that you mentioned there with the rooms to be able to do that is that if someone's planning a birthday party, so
Sure.
20 people like you said,
Yep.
or they're planning this 100-person dinner because it's a larger wedding or it's a corporate event or whatever,
Right.
all of this can come in, and whether the person's ever planned an event or not before, you're going to be able to sit down with them and walk them through the space,
Absolutely.
plan out the menus with them. I'm assuming the chef does tastings over there as well. If you
He's always kind of working on different things and being able to offer the most seasonal, you know, items to our clients. So.
and from your company's group, from Newport Harbor Group, we know that they do a lot of seasonal things. So their chefs are very talented. They've spread out that ability to do that. But that's one of the biggest things I want out today is the ease to be able to come in and do this. So it's so simplified to go into these venues, and especially with the ones we've had today, is that everyone's unique. They've got different views, different abilities to have things that they can offer for you. Going past your appetizers, it's not as if people have to come there and do a full sit-down dinner.
No, we can do a served meal. You know, we can do a served meal that would start off with a cocktail hour where they're going to have a selection of some pastry hors d'oeuvres or stationery display. You know, and then the guests will sit down for dinner. Or if they're looking, we have a lot of corporate groups or, you know, or social events that are just looking to do a more casual, you know, cocktail reception. Holiday parties, you know, in particular, they're looking to just, you know, kind of have a fun night out for their company and for their employees.
And that season's coming. I don't want to admit it, but that season's coming.
Let us know how we can help. So we can do a cocktail reception where you know, some people do not want that served kind of formal, you know, formality incorporated into their event. They want more of a casual, you know, kind of standing, mingling type of reception. We can do a cocktail reception for them. We have buffet menus as well.
So the buffets, like you said, you can spread that out in the different rooms. It doesn't have to be so space-wise. There's ways to fill the different amounts of space that are there. If you feel like your room's too big, there's always a way to have
Absolutely.
something going on.
Yeah, and that's a good point too, because some clients will, you know, sort of hear the capacity in the review and think, you know, this room is either too small or too large for me. But when they come in and we kind of talk with them about what they're looking to do, we have so many different ways that we can set up the room to make it work for what the client is looking to do, to make sure that the space doesn't seem too big and doesn't seem too small. We can kind of work our way through that.
And those are questions that you should ask, because if you're coming in and that's your first fear that goes through your head, like Kim's mentioning, is that there's always a way to work around it, whether it's a decor setup, whether it's entertainment, and people don't realize what an entertainment space takes up, whether it's a band, DJ, all those things fit into the variety of what you're looking for. So ask the questions. Everyone that's come in, make sure you ask the questions. So, Kim, thank you so much. You brought in some awesome things to talk about.
All right.
Beautiful wine.
Yeah.
Check it out later too. And of course, you'll see pictures of Kim and I on social media later on. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Rick, very much. It's a pleasure. I appreciate it. Shall I take this away?
Yeah, you got to
Yeah?
finish drinking that.
All right.
Can you
I'm
carry
just
that?
finished drinking it.